Hello, hello. Welcome to Audible Poet Channel. Give it maybe a few minutes and see who all can come on. I didn't announce it. I just thought I'd do a early live today, so we can look deep inside what's going on in Israel. I want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about Israel. I'll be right back. Um, uh, most meet in the synagogues on Sunday. So I decided I'm gonna try to keep this live going on Mondays for now until I'm led to do otherwise. I could play I could play like stuff I've done already, but you can go back and see that if when if you feel free to. But for now, it's Mondays at any time. Um, at any time. So I want to, of course, have a word of prayer, and then I want to get started. Um, today's topic is "Don't Panic," Part Two. Don't panic, Part Two. Lord, I thank you for another day down here. Thank you for life, health, and strength. Thank you for all the many blessings you bestowed, oh, that you bestowed upon me from today and yesterday. And I just ask that you be with us today as we listen to the words. Um, if you leave me, I'll get into the Bible now. And if not, I'll read the things that I have in front of me. But be here, stand with me. Spirit of truth be here so that we can get nothing but the absolute realness of what's about to come forth. Lead us and guide us into all truth. And just continue to enlighten us, open us up, and help us to see the things you want us to see, hear the things that you want us to hear. Your will to be done in earth as it is in heaven, not my will today. But I do thank you for allowing me to be a mouthpiece for you, God that sits high above the firmament and have knowledge of all things, both present and past and future. I thank you. And I just ask, God, that you keep us in perfect peace. Keep us away from fear. And also keep us away from the fiery darts of the wicked one. And I give you praise, honor, and glory. In Emmanuel's name, I pray. Amen. So, um, the headlines, the headlines read about Israel. No, I don't. I told you about me watching the news, but I got up this morning, and that's what I was hearing about the war in Israel. I got I guess you want to say, spiritually tapped into. My spirit was tapped into this morning when I woke up because I wasn't thinking about this before I went to bed. So it only happened when I woke up this morning, and so I was reading. Let's see which one. Look at my bookmark. Uh, I was reading this passage by name is Greg Laurie, and it was on October the 13th, and it's called "War in Israel: A Fulfillment of Bible Prophecy." A fulfillment of Bible prophecy, and hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. So can I open up a two shot? I do two screens here. One. And only one. So um, I wanted to read a little bit of this clipping, or what it says about, and it's titled "War in Israel: A Fulfillment of Bible Prophecy" by Greg Laurie. And says, I woke up Saturday morning. I was shocked to read the headline, Israel is at war. It is almost 50 years to the day the last time Israel was officially at war in what is known as the Yom Kippur War back in 1973. If I said that right, I might have not said that right. I don't know. Yom Kippur, 1973, when she was attacked by Egypt, Syria, and others. But this is a different kind of war. Thousands of rockets rained on Israel from multiple directions, and Hamas gunmen invaded by land, sea, and sky. Now hundreds of people have been unalived and taken, and they were using what we might just describe as ISIS-like methods. Now this is for entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only. Um, Using copyright 107. Copyright 107, entertainment purposes only. And they were using what we describe as ISIS-like methods, targeting young women and young children, launching massive indiscriminate rocket fire towards civilian population centers, and well as terrorist infiltration of cities and settlements close to the Gaza border. They went literally home to home, door to door, looking for the young and for the elderly. They've taken people, old women, little children, young women. Sus, they've targeted civilians in this attack. Some of the women they took as taken were survivors of the Holocaust. To date, and this number tragically will only get larger. There are 1,300 unalive and 2,000 wounded. This attack is simply without precedent, causing Prime Minister of Israel Benjamin Netanyahu, if I say that right, to say we are at war. So I don't really know who Greg Laurie is. I'm assuming he's a minister. I'm assuming. I haven't done any research on him, but when I looked up the war in Israel, he popped up. So Israel had the last war that is recorded that took place in Israel was in 1973. And it was attacked by Egypt, Syria, and others. But Greg is saying that this is a different kind of war. This is not like that war. Okay, so we read all of that, and Prime Minister of Israel is saying that we are at war, right? Now, it says Israel's enemies. Who is Hamas or Hamas? They are a terrorist organization funded by Iran that is not a secret, he says. A spokesman for Iran, Haza Hamad, told the BBC that terrorist group had received funding for the attack, according to the Wall Street Journal. And Iran has for a long time stated that their objective is to destroy Israel. They have also signaled that they are developing a nuclear weapon. In the past, they have threatened to, in their own words, wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Okay. So this is all written in by these are the statements. I would it's a video that could be played, but I'm just reading what he says here on on my laptop here, because I wanted to get down to the end part of it. That's the whole point. There's always a point on this channel. I just want to get down to the end part of it. So it says, one leader of Iran says, they ask, is it possible for us to witness a world without America or Zionism? But you had best know that this slogan and this goal are altogether attainable and surely can be achieved. The regime that is accompanying Jerusalem must be wiped off the map. And I guess that's supposed to be number one. Interesting how it always come back to Jerusalem. The Bible predicted thousands of years ago that the end times events would revolve around Jerusalem, not San Francisco, not Los Angeles, not Moscow, not Paris, but Jerusalem, this tiny little city, and this tiny silver or sliver of land will play a key role in the events of the last days. It is the focal point of end time events. It's amazing when you think about it, about in Zechariah 12:3-4, God says, I will make Jerusalem like an intoxicating drink that makes the nearby nations stagger when they send their armies to besiege Jerusalem and Judah. On that day, I will make Jerusalem a immovable rock. All the nations will gather against it to try to move it, but they will only hurt themselves. And that's in the NLT. I guess that's the maybe new living translation or language translation. Then the next one says, pay careful attention. Now the irony is all this. Now the irony of all this is that the United States of America, through the Biden administration, just gave $6 billion to Iran. What a bad move it is to give any money to a nation that sponsors terrorism around the world. But here's what students of biblical prophecy should pay attention. The Bible tells us in the end times that Israel would be scattered and regathered. This has happened, and this really was the sign that set the prophetic clock ticking. I really don't want to read all this, but I read it this morning, but I have to say it. This does not. I read the whole piece. You can go and read the whole piece. It's what war in Israel, a fulfillment of Bible prophecy, released by Greg Laurie, October 13th, 2023. But as I've said before, the Bible speaks about Matthew 24, 1-14. When this gospel, right? Let's look at it. (24:14). And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And also, when you go to this page that I just gave you, you'll also see at the end of all these things, it says he asked for a partner to send relief to Israel. Right? So let's see here. Let me find my other wrong stuff here. Where's this one? So So what do you think? You think, like I said, the last war in Israel took place in 1973. That's 50 years ago. And possibility when that happened in 1973, because the Bible was also in 1973, people may have assumed that the end was coming at that particular time. That's what I'm getting to. This is my point. People may assume that it was the end of the world in 1973 because um, it stated that. Let me go back to it. What I just read. It stated that Israel was attacked by Egypt, Syria, and others. So it wasn't just one country attacking it, it was Egypt, Syria, and others. So people could assume then, who was Bible savvy, that the end was then. Is anybody there? Um, I know in the Old Testament it talks about wars, but um, here in Matthew 24 and 6, Matthew 24 and 6, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled. Key, that's key. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So when the end is the end, that's when all things have been fulfilled. Because you remember when Jesus hung his head on the cross, before he gave up the ghost, he said, "It is finished." Right? In certain parts of not all the gospels recorded that saying, but I think two of them did say it is finished, and that meant that everything that he was supposed to have done was fulfilled. Everything that he is supposed to have done was fulfilled. He said it's finished. That's the cup full to the brim. It is finished. Can't put no more in it. 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. We talked about that last Monday, right? Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All nations, not just some. Abraham. Abraham, God said to Abraham, Abraham would be the father of all nations. a father of many nations. Think about that. Abraham, one man, will be a father to many nations. What is a nation? A large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, or language, inhabiting a particular country or territory. Inhabiting, living in a particular country or territory. So much division in America, but yet we speak the same language. Is that true or false? I know some people can speak other languages in here, but yet there's one dominant language, which is English. We all speak it. A large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, or language, inhabiting a particular country or territory. And Abraham would be the father of that. A large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, or language, inhabiting a peculiar country or territory. This is what was given to Abraham. In the book of Genesis. Genesis 16, no, Genesis 17. Genesis 17, starting at verse 3. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, father of a multitude. There's a T at the A. Abraham means father of a multitude. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And they will give unto thee and thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for a everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. So where's that land? What land was he promised? He was promised the land of Canaan, not the whole world. That's what it says. And they will give thee to thy, and I will give unto thee and thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan. So, see where. see. See. So Canaan, Canaan, is located in the lowlands of Palestine. In the lowlands of Palestine. And I believe and Gaza, who's at war with Israel, is is Palestinian territory. So the land that was offered and given to Abraham as a possession for him and his generations is Palestinian land. Because I know people's going, maybe not like this one, but because Israel was the name in the Bible was the name of Jacob. Israel wasn't established. The land Israel wasn't established until 1948, which would give the Israelis, the Israelites, would give them a place of refuge today. But the land that was promised to them was Palestinian territory. So maybe that's why they are at war today, maybe. For the turnaround, due to the prophecy that was given to Abraham. Gaza Strip, simply known as Gaza, is a self governing Palestinian territory. The territory is governed by a pro Palestine group known as Hamas or Hamas, who are sometimes considered to be a terrorist group. Gaza was occupied by Israel from 1967 until 2005 when it withdrew its troops and settlers. However, the UN, the international organization, and that's where it cut off at. So I don't know what the rest of that says. And most governments. But it cut off right there, so I don't really know what it says right there. But so think about that. Now all of this happened during the time of Abraham. Isn't that amazing? to know that. It is for me. I mean, lack of knowledge, lack of knowledge, we perish. Um, y'all remember when the Ukraine Russia war started? I was hearing, it was. I was hearing at that particular time it was the end and things of that nature. Bible prophecy being fulfilled. Not the name of this live is "Don't Panic" Part Two, because Revelations it talks about the war between it talks about the war between the overcomer and the wicked one. And I know it. I know that it talks about Jerusalem. But Daniel says what? He said, when you see the abomination of desolation stand in the holy place, when you see the abomination of desolation, now I've been in the synagogues and I've heard about Daniel's prophecy, but not one time did I hear that it was war. That part. I was never taught that it was a war. What you say, well, JB, what's the point of being on the live today? What are you trying to say? I'm trying to say that everything that every time something happens, it doesn't really mean that it's Bible. Also, this is the same book. I'm gonna have to say it again. This is the same book that you have to purchase in the store. Just like if you want to be on, if you want social media, if you want news or anything like that, you have to purchase it to get the exclusive. You have to purchase it. It's nothing that comes free from the like. As soon as you're born out of your mother's womb, you don't get handed. You the next thing comes is the afterbirth, not Bible. So in order to know it, dissect it, you have to be, not, you have to be taught it to have some knowledge of it, and then you go on your own and read up on it and things of that nature. Um, but when you read Revelations, what do you get? What do you see? What do you get out of Revelations? Do you get uh, that it's talking about Israel and war, or do you get that it's talking about the overcomer and the wicked one? That battle at the end. And I know it says about the horse and the blood up to the horses, uh, what do you call that thing that they bite? A horse, they put in the horse mouth to turn them. And last battle in Israel was in 1973, 50 years ago. And it was Egypt, Syria, and others. And once again, I said, people then probably said that right then they felt like it was the end times. This is awareness, because there's a lot of what did he say? He said, "Many shall come in my name, saying that I am Christ, and deceive many." Then it talks about false prophets, false teachers. Make these big, put on this big persona about biblical things, but then at the end, it's all about the profit, the gain. But Jesus says it is finished because the cup was full and you couldn't put no more in it. Hope somebody get this message today. I pray that the Most High, the one that sits high above the firmament, would be here and stand with me today. Spirit of truth. Because to me, it's like with some, the Old Testament ain't relevant until war happens, until commotions of wars and things like that happen. That's when people want to tap into the Old Testament. But the Old Testament, it ain't relevant. That's what they tell us. The Old Testament, it's not relevant. But then you don't hear of wars in the Old Testament. I mean, the New Testament, like you do in the Old Testament, but until you get into Revelations, when it talks about the war between the overcomer and the wicked one. And Jesus making mention in Matthew 24, 1 through 14, about you hear of wars and rumors of wars. So we have information. Gaza, the ones right now who are going up against Israel, is Palestinian territory. Palestinian territory, which is actually Canaan, the place where God says he would give Abraham and his seeds as a land for Abraham and his seeds and their generations. If you look it up, Gaza Strip, simply known as Gaza, is a self-governing Palestinian territory. So when you look up Canaan, where is Canaan located? located in Levant region of present day Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Israel. But it also tells us the boundaries of the region, known in biblical times as Canaan, now surround Jordan, Israel, and Palestinian territories, including West Bank and Gaza. Don't you find that interesting? That when people give Bible breakdown, they don't mention these things here because it's not profitable. That's my point. It's not profitable. It's profitable when they bump heads together and try to make it sound so presentable. Because we don't want to get our hands dirty. We don't want to get our knees dirty. Get down to the nitty gritty of the whole thing. Jesus says that what? The end is not yet. You hear wars and rumors of wars, but it's not yet. This is Don't Panic, part two. The boundaries of the region known in biblical times as Canaan now surround Jordan, Israel, Palestinian territories, Canaan, the same land he promised Abraham in Genesis. Let me go back to it. This is about the renewal of our minds. Genesis 17 and chapter 17, verse 3. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Many nations. Let's go back. Let's look at the nations again. Man, this is good to me. Let's see here. When you ask, what is a nation? Let's see what is a nation. Let's see again what Abraham is responsible for. Let's realize what he's responsible for. Abraham is responsible for a large body of people united by common descent. One, history. Two, culture or language, or inhabiting a particular country or territory. Wow. Wow. That's major. That is major to know. So, guess what we have here? We have something right now that could be a part of the rights to land. Now, I read too where right here in this war in Israel, a fulfillment Bible prophecy where it stated that the president administration just gave $6 billion to Iran, right? And Iran is the ones who are, I guess, attacking Israel right now, and the president administration just gave $6 billion. Now, this was released October 13th, right? Do we want truth or do we seek for something else. Now, in the same breath, I read this morning that naval. Let me see. Can I find this here? That naval assistance from the U.S. was given to Israel. So I'm like, okay, well, which one is it? Which one is it? Are we helping or are we hurting? Hit that like button on your way in or your way out. Are we helping or hurting Israel? One says this, one says that. That's why I always say, and other people that uh, seek for truth, will tell us to what? Do our own research. Just don't listen to JB. Do your own research. Also, something else that makes my stomach hurt. It says that the prime minister of Israel warned that it would be a long and difficult war. Now, you read this, anything, if you read in the flesh, you just gonna, you know. But if you read it spiritually, I'm like, how he know? How he know it's gonna be long and difficult? Is that what you telling your people? That this is gonna be long and difficult? That's spooky. That's spooky. If that's the actual plan set in place, that it's gonna be long and difficult. I mean, to you, wouldn't that be spooky? How did he know? Isaiah 22, 8 and 9 portrays a warning about God removing his protection from Israel because of their iniquities and rebellion against him. So you got another thing coming to play, right? You got something else coming into play. Not only are we finding out that Gaza is that Canaan is Palestinian territory connected with Gaza, a place that God promised Abraham and his generations. But now we have Bible come into play. Isaiah 22, 8 and 9 portrays a warning about God removing his protection from Israel because of their iniquities and rebellion against him. Good morning. Hello, hello, salute. Salute to you both. Glad you stopped by. Um, so just think, there's something else that comes into play. When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation is near. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let those who are in the midst of her depart, and let not those who are in the country enter her. Enter her who? Enter Jerusalem. For these are the days of vengeance, all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days, for there will be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. And they will fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem will be trampled by Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. So yes, Jerusalem would once again fall into the hands of the Gentiles. Truly, we are living in the time where there's an increasing magnitude of conflict in the Middle East. Now, once again, the last war that took place in Israel was in 1973. And it was Egypt, Syria, and other countries that took part in this. And I said before, and I said again, even probably in those times, people thought that it was the end of the world. Because somewhere along the line, this same thing that I'm reading to you right now, but when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that it is desolation is near, and let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. The same thing that I'm reading to you now, they was reading in 1973. You say, JB, why are you saying that? Because the Bible was translated in 1611. So it's been around. Today's live is Don't Panic, Part 2. So this information has been around. It just stirs, it just stirs the people. It just stirs up the mind. When you hear of war, the first thing majority of people do is run straight to the Bible. Go to the stores and buy a Bible. Or this day and time, you only have to do is just go online, and they give you every scripture in the Bible pertaining to whatever's going on dealing with war. So leave a comment. Do you believe that in 1973, the last war that was in Israel, um, so yeah, thank you. I mean, when you hear it, when you hearing when you hearing it in that manner, what do you think about it? I know some, you know, may say, I don't want to touch on it. I don't want to talk. Hey, it's going down. Either way, it's going down. Um, But yeah, like I was saying before, this is my time now, Mondays, anytime. I would normally say 10 o'clock, but you know, I'm free after 7:30, 8 o'clock. So, you know, anytime between after that, you know, I'll just get on here and, you know, you want to join me? That's fine. But if I'm led by the Most High to do any other days, I will. I will. But yeah, it was on me this morning. Um, I mean, there's a lot of things to be discussed, but this was the main focus right now. The main focus. Um, I want to say salute to Melanin and Carla Lacia. Say salute to y'all. Thank you for stopping by. Um, but yeah, anyway you mix it up, stir it up. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Let's see how long I've been on here already. Don't really show me 63 minutes ago, so. Um, maybe maybe we have some unknown files coming soon. Maybe. Um, if I have time to put things like that together. Shout outs to Together We Break Chains. Shout out to Miss B and Fam. Jay Jordan. Shout outs to you, man. Miss T with the T. Shout outs to you. Big Rooster. Shout outs to you. Um, uh, I think it's Workouts with Frugal Mama. Shout outs to you. Salute. Um, Tamika Davis. Shout outs to you. Um, um, Steve Gilmore. Shout outs to you. Salute and greetings. Um, Angel's Corner. Shout outs to you. Salute. Salute. Um, Eric B. You know where you be. Community balling. Shout out to you, man. I was over there on your page not too long ago. Shout outs to you. Big ups. Yeah, yeah. Healers Vikings Gamer Channel. Shout out to you, Gamer Bro. Salute and greetings to you, man. Um, and I think I'm just giving shout outs to people that have given support. You know, you know, I just like I said, I thank God for the subscribers I have, which is 175. And maybe God's plan, he'll uplift that number. You know, but if you enjoy the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell others about the channel. Uh, and On that note, I hope you enjoyed the message, the reading. Be prayerful, stay vigilant, lift holy hands wherever you go. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Yeah, yeah. Big ups to everybody I called out. Melon, Carla, peace, salute. Um, yeah, yeah.